Today in history. It is May 6th, and we're going to continue with our journey to the past.
We certainly are. We have two events to share with our listeners, but first here's the quiz question. A key figure of the 20th century, dubbed the father of psychoanalysis, was number 1, Albert Einstein, or number 2, Sigmund Freud. Again, the key figure of the 20th century, dubbed the father of psychoanalysis, was number 1, Albert Einstein, or number 2, Sigmund Freud. Put your answers on our Bundy board or text them in on your cell phone for 51. Pounder sharp 1045, and you could win a eco bag and mug cup.
So we are going to cover 2 items today, so here's the short list.
Today in history. In 1851, John Gorrie patented mechanical refrigeration, and in 1856, Sigmund Freud was born.
So we're going to begin today's journey in the way past with a milestone moment for modern society, and that was the process of refrigeration.
It was on this day in 1851 that Dr. John Gorrie was given a patent for his mechanical refrigeration, which is, in other words, a stepping stone to today's cooling systems.
자, 1851년 존 고리 박사는 전기 냉장 시스템의 특허를 바로 오늘 냈다고 하는데요. The process of cooling systems existed since a long time ago, with earliest records showing that cooling process dates back in 10,000 BC.
That's a long time ago, huh?
It is.
By the 1700s, various scientists began working artificial refrigeration, with Scottish professor William Cullen designing a small device that even made ice.
It was not until 1851, though, that artificial refrigeration started being considered as a means to tackle yellow fever, a dreaded disease for which there was no cure known back then.
Well, Dr. Gorrie was convinced that cool air was a determinant in combating the disease, and he came up with a machine featuring the basic concept of today's refrigeration, air conditioning, and ice-making principles, cooling caused by the rapid expansion of gases.
그러니까 고리 박사는 그 차가운 공기가 이 질병과 맞서 싸울 수 있다는 것을 확인한 후에 오늘의 냉장고와 같은 개념의 기계를 개발했다고 합니다. And now we're going to move on to a couple of years later when another pioneer was born.
Known as the father of psychoanalysis, he was, of course, Sigmund Freud, who was born on this day in 1856.
Born in Austria, Freud paved the way for how we understand the human mind, how we make decisions, and how we behave as individuals, as members of society.
Yes, psychoanalysis has been pivotal in the development of psychotherapy and psychiatry, as well as the humanities, and becoming a pillar of Western thought and popular culture.
That's right. And even in popular speech, we find references to his works such as mommy and daddy issues, and Freudian slips, defense mechanisms, and catharsis.
A lot, right? Well, Freud, of course, has been the course of much debate, both on the topic of his life and his work, but generally speaking, he is surely considered one of the key figures of the 20th century.
Freud, that's right. Okay, so we just covered 2 items about what happened on this day in history.
That's right. And yeah, very interesting events today, and we're going to wrap it up shortly. But before we do, I have to give you the answer to the quiz question I gave you just a moment ago.
Right.
A key figure of the 20th century, dubbed the father of psychoanalysis, was, you had 2 options, and the answer would be number 2, Sigmund Freud.
네, Sigmund Freud, 그렇죠. The father of psychoanalysis, 정신분석학의 아버지라고도 불리우는 20세기 아주 중요 인물 중에 하나.
That's it for Today in History. When we come back, we have Morning Date with Dr. Kim Song-hee, director of Voices from Oxford. But first, we will enjoy this song. It is from Maximilian Hecker, I'll Be a Virgin, I'll Be a Mountain.